What's poppin', world? Back at it again with another video for y'all. Y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Here we go, yet again. Y'all ready to title? Let's get right into it. My thoughts on this government shutdown. I mean, what can you say? I mean, I got my thoughts on it. Definitely got my opinion about it, you know. Policia. The policia. My bad, y'all. I'm just on my way to work. But yeah, government shutdown. What is my opinion on this situation? I would definitely say that it's really based off of that bill that was passed in the summer. I think it was passed right before 4th of July, around 4th of July, or on 4th of July. And I think the big one, a big part of that bill that I felt like the Democrats didn't like, which was the cuts on healthcare, right? Now, this is how these stories get spun and things of that nature. So I just want to give y'all some transparency because, you know, at this point, nobody really trusts the government at this point, far as either side. You know, I'm not like that, you feel me? I feel like you got to put a little trust in the government because it's not only just impacting the people, it's impacting their families as well that lives in this nation. And rather that might be for the better or the worse of the country as a whole, you gotta kind of take them at their word. You know, as far as like, rather they doing something good or they doing something bad, you feel me? So, healthcare. The Republicans are basically saying that the Democrats want the healthcare back due to the illegal immigrants of Obamacare, Medicare, Medicaid, all that. And the retort from the Democrats, which I do feel like, in my opinion, is probably more of the honest position, is that it's really just covering, you know, covering Americans, you feel me? Americans that don't have the benefits, that really lives in, you know, disenfranchised communities, so on and so forth. And that even if there were covering illegal immigrants, you feel me, that it would only be probably like a fraction of the percent. Now, I know nobody don't want to hear that, but I'm more so of a person that likes context, you feel me? Not justifying anything, you feel me, of not to do something a tad bit wrong for the better good of everyone else. I feel like it's subjective. But anyways, I digress. My point is that I know people personally that's lost their health care soon as that bill was passed, right? So it definitely hits close to home for me because they were saying, oh, well, you know, to get food stamps and all these, you know, programs, all you have to do is, you know, work a certain amount. I know working people that lost their health care. That's crazy. That's crazy. That I can't stand for. So as far as the Democrats not voting on this bill, and, you know, there's like these premiums for Obamacare and things of that, or the Affordable Care Act that expired at the end of this year. So here's the crazy thing, right? So there's people that lost their health care, and the people that still have health care, if those premiums don't get extended, then it could double, triple, possibly the deductible, far as people be able to take care of their health. I feel like that's inhumane. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Now, Are they just gonna let? I don't know. This. Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, right? And I'm not trying to conflate the two, but I do feel like because of the wealth gap, because of AI, because of all these indicators, it is creating more of a have and have not society. And I feel like universally, you know, if there was anything regarding socialism that I feel like it should be universal and accessible for everyone, you know, it should be healthcare, right? Now, it's crazy because, like, you know, you look at Canada, I think they have more so of a socialistic, you know, structure in their healthcare. But the argument would be is that you gotta book your appointment so far down the line because everybody is in line, you know? So there is no priority, you know? Pay to play, if you will. So I don't know, that's subjective. I'm not sure about that. I mean, it should be a happy medium where it's like, okay, well, it should be a blend of both. Everybody should have access to health care, but if you want premium, top of the line health care, yeah, it should be the people that have it should be able to afford it. You feel me? So that's what this government shutdown is about. It's about health care. Now, you can get on the news, go on CNN and Fox, and they're going to have their different narratives. I believe the Democrats, more so than the Republicans, I feel like the Republicans are being disingenuous, right? And do I consider myself an independent? I'm probably an independent first, but if I was to lean more towards either left or right, it'd probably be left, for sure. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Just because I do feel like, in my opinion, if Kamala, you feel me, was the president, I mean, it's really hard to say what would have or what wouldn't have happened. So maybe I'm not gonna go there, but my point is that this government shutdown is really just, it's a battle. It's a power struggle. If Trump, you know, the president, you feel me? And here's the other layer of it, which is he's sitting up there saying like, all right, you know what? We standing on business, and as long as the government is shut down, we can just get rid of certain sectors of our government that's more Democrat orientated because the executive powers due to Congress, you know, or maybe like the Supreme Court or however it may go, but the executive powers that he do have, he can sit up there and make, and it's his words, irreversible cuts to Democratic orientated, you know, organizations within the government, right? So you have that layer. And the government, you know, and this isn't no secret, is the biggest employer of black people in this nation, right? Now, I'm not sure as far as how many white people, how many, you know, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying that certain targeted, you know, cuts could be detrimental. You're talking about ruining lives. You feel me? Cutting people from their job, their livelihood. You know, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That I don't support it because now it feels like in order to get your way, you willing to triple and quadruple down on it. And, you're basically telling the Republicans not to make this a bipartisan bill, right? Which, for those that don't know what bipartisan is, partisan just only means one side. Bi meaning two, plural meaning both sides, meaning both parties is involved. Everybody, on both sides make concessions, and they're working out a deal, right? If the Republicans feel like they got more leverage, you feel me? And this administration feeling like they have more leverage and making threats about cuts, if the Democrats don't come over and reopen up the government, as they put it, because they feel like, hey, capitulate to our demands, and really shifting blame on, all right, well, they're going to look at y'all not opening up the government because y'all don't want to vote along this bill. But we understand that this bill isn't a bipartisan bill. It's really a bill that we came up with, and it's not changing much, or if anything, as far as what I heard. And yeah, you better do it, or y'all are gonna be looking like the villains in this, because we can easily say that y'all don't want to open up the government. That's how they trying to spin it. Especially if you hear the vice president, he pretty much put it like that exactly. You feel me? And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, there's so many layers to this. I understand the power struggle. I understand why the government shut down. I'm not saying that I understand it to the point where it justifies people not getting paid, because I don't want that. You feel me? I want everybody to, get their paper straight. But it's a multi-layered situation where, with great accomplishment, sometimes requires great sacrifice, right? And it's easy for me to say because, I don't know, I don't want to say I'm not like impacted in it, government shutdown. So I can definitely say that maybe this affects the government shutdown as far as me on a personal level. Right now, I just got my CDL, I just got my fingerprints and stuff like that submitted through the TSA to go get, as far as like a background check. And I'm not sure, and the TSA is a federal agency that's under the government. So, hey, it might be a delay on getting my fingerprints back, as far as getting my hazmat endorsement. But that aside, I just feel like this is a sticky situation, man. Maybe it might just be because, like I said, this bill earlier this year affected working people that I know. They lost their health care, meaning that if they were to go to the hospital, or if they need treatment, or if they need checkups, they gotta pay out of pocket. You can tell a lot about a country the way they take care of the disenfranchised, the lower class, the day-to-day people. You feel me? Because all in all, that's the bloodline of this country. That's what's making everybody wealthy. It's the sacrifices that the people that's getting by are making, right? Because who's buying McDonald's? Who's buying Burger King? Who's buying DoorDash? Who's, I feel like it's strength in numbers. Yeah, I think 10% of this country, or 10% of the population controls a certain amount of wealth, right? Maybe like 50%. I don't know. Maybe that might be an exaggeration. Maybe it may not be. Maybe I'm right on the money. But the point is that those people that don't have health care are the ones that the backs of this country was built off of. And now you're trying to turn your back on them. I don't rock with that. I don't rock with that. You know? So the government shut down. Nobody wants the government shut down. Because it's got to have a ripple effect as far as different sectors of this country and stuff like that. So you got that going on. But that's my opinion on it. So I really want to know what y'all think. Feel me? Comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. More videos on the way. I'm up out of here.